no shade, not coming after anyone. Generally, it's like white people tend to date like other white guys that look quite similar
to them.
It is interesting.
Abercrombie and Fitch as like an example. Like that was like the holy grail of beauty in the early 2000s. We grow up seeing like white beauty, Eurocentric features as beautiful.
It's not active racism. Viola Davis, she should be way more of a household name. I mean, she is getting like more now, but she should be way more of a household name. She should be way more known about what she does. Like, she's EGOT status. She's been acting for centuries.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Avoiding My Anxiously Attached Boyfriend with me, Josh, and my partner and co-host,
Faraz. Welcome back, you guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this episode.
How are you, bitch?
I'm good, bitch.
What's going on? We guys do, bitch.
I am so good. I'm buzzing. We've just had such a good time today.
I know.
Really
I don't know which order things are going to be released.
But it's just fun. Everything's just fun. Okay, guys.
If you know, then you know, right?
I am so good. I have so much to catch up on. Like, I feel like our solo episodes have taken a back seat. I feel like we're just like, oh, guest episode. But there's so much has happened, you guys. I have been through a stomach bug.
That evil fuck. I don't know if it was monovirus. I don't know.
Norovirus.
Monovirus. Isn't mono like deathly? So I don't know why I'm going into.
She got mono.
She died from mono.
Yeah, we just got over like stomach bug. I hate throwing up. Throwing up is like my worst thing. And it was just literally like throwing up, shitting everywhere. Disgusting. Like, not for me. No way, Jose.
Yeah.
And this episode's actually like a nice surprise solo episode because I actually went to have a guest.
Yeah.
But they cancelled last minute. So now you get a solo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so much. Oh my God, we're going on adventures.
Yes.
We're going to Dubai.
Yeah.
Which we're so excited for.
Random last minute
trip. We were like, we need sun. There's going to be a vlog for Dubai, 100%, like a proper vlog. We're going to be vloggers.
Gays tackle Dubai. That's going to be the thumbnail.
Yeah, okay, fine. And then we've got Jordan coming up. We're thinking of trying to organise and do Japan. Like, there's lots of travel trips going on this year, which is really, really
fun. We were thinking about doing a cruise next year.
And then we watched too many videos of cruise ships.
And I was like, I don't want to be with these people.
I know, old people. But not just that, like it did give tacky vibe. It was a bit too busy.
But I think cruises, I don't think you realise they are a bit like that. They are a bit tacky. Even if you go for like the nice ones, like the
Virgin Voyagers one gave me like chlamydia vibes.
And it was giving swingers.
Yeah, it gave
and I'm not swinging.
Sex. Yeah.
Especially with all these odd people. No.
I mean, no. Gilfs? We like gilfs.
Ew, no.
Okay, so drama. Bravo.
Stop saying that.
We had Sass's birthday, which was like her 40th, like really, really fun. We tried to pretend that we already went there in one of the episodes because we were like, oh, look, let's pretend. But Sam almost died, you guys.
Yeah, Sam, our sister.
Yeah, our sister.
Sam.
Basically, like, I don't know what happened. I think it was like a mixture of like the medication that she takes for like back issues, whatever, and drinking alcohol. It was all just like mix and match. But we had like a really fun party. It was a really good vibe, like dance, whatever. DJ was a little bit weird. And then that evening, like, she obviously took her drugs or whatever. Like, when we woke up, she was on the floor. She looked really hungover, but she was still talking and stirring like she was drunk. And I was like, there's something a little bit wrong here. Like, this isn't right. And then, like, slowly as the hours progressed, she like slowly just like fell like further and further to the floor and was just like leaning there like that, like kind of like swaying, couldn't get back up. And I was like, oh my God, there's something wrong with Sam.
Yeah.
Like, there's something actual. Then she like slowly started being less like conscious and lucid. And then she was just like pretty much unconscious and she was freezing. Her temperature was 32.5 degrees, guys.
Her blood sugars dropped to like
below one.
It
wasn't even reading. It was like, it just said low.
Yeah.
And then I was like, right, we need to call an ambulance. Ambulance came. They pumped her up full of like glucose stuff to bring up her blood sugar. They were like, what happened? We're like, we're really not sure. Because we didn't know. No one was with her at that time. So it was the first time she drunk in years as well. So it was just not fun. And then, ended up going to hospital. Thankfully, she's all okay now. Super scary. And I think it ended up being like sepsis or something.
Yeah.
which is really fucking scary because you're gonna die from that.
Yeah.
So that was an unexpected turn of events, but
And it was just crazy. And the thing that I think proper like sent chills
yeah,
is when she said that she was slipping.
yeah, she was like, guys, you need to
Like, can you get someone here? Because
slipping.
like, if I fall asleep, I don't know if I'll wake up.
Yeah,
And I think like everyone was just a bit
like,
panicked. Like,
fuck.
Shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. But we did it. We
did
saved
it. We
her
got
life.
through.
You're welcome, Sam.
Love you, bitch.
It was scary though.
The thing is, I feel like January has just been awful as a month.
So long.
Every weekend, every week, we're just slapped in the fucking face by shit happening.
I know.
And I'm so happy it's done.
Yeah.
You know, we're coming into Feb now, so fucking excited.
Anywho, what have we got to talk about today? We're gonna do short, snappy episodes because I feel like our solos don't need to be like too long because
just like a few.
This is just like your little weekly fix of us
and our thoughts and opinions, which may or may not be right, but you're here already and you're listening, so why not listen to the whole thing? And if you disagree with us, that's fine. Just don't comment or tell us.
No one fucking cares about you, fucking whore. Fucking bitch.
I wanted to talk about whiteness being the default, which, you know, we've kind of...
What do you mean?
We've tackled these kind of...
What do you mean?
We've tackled these kind of conversations before, you know, but I'd like to dive in a little bit deeper with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's start it by going back a little bit from like first experiences of whiteness being like the default. Okay. And I think of like, you know, when you're younger and like you're dating like different people, like you quickly find out when you're a person of color dating that your colour is not the one that people like or prefer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. From experiences that I've had before, and I am quite light-skinned anyway, but I feel like the closer you are to white, the more luck you have in the dating pool in general. And it's kind of shown across... It's shown quite a lot through different cultures, different countries, like... You know, in certain countries, you'll have like whitewashing, like skincare routines.
like bleaching.
Exactly, so that you're closer to like the Eurocentric look.
I think it originally comes from my experience, like Asian and like Arab culture, is it comes from like wealth. So the lighter skinned you are, the wealthier you are, not because it also aligns with like Western like white people, but also because it means your job wasn't outdoors in the sun. It meant that your skin wasn't getting darker. It kind of showed that you were like poor if you had darker skin. So people would bleach their skins to show that they didn't have an outdoor job and that they were wealthy. Yeah. So I think like potentially that could be something that projects onto that like community where it's like, if you're black but you're like lighter skinned black, it's like you're not, you know, like darker, and therefore you might exhibit like more wealth or something.
I always think, to preface all of this, I always think it's good to be open with who you're dating and not pigeonhole yourself. And you know, we've recently released a clip where we kind of talk about this and why, you know, you see like a lot of white people only date other white people, and especially in the gay community, is people that look like they're twin brothers, and they'll go for them. It's like, do you want to fuck yourself? Like, what is this?
Do you know what? I saw this thing, and they were trying to be PC by making it about all gay people. They're like, oh, why do gay people date people that look similar to them? Like, you know, we're obviously all egotistical, and we probably do want to fuck ourselves. But it's very like interesting to look at white specifically. Like, no shade, not coming after anyone, but like it's true. Like, generally, not everyone obviously, but they like white people tend to date like other white guys that look quite similar to them. It is interesting. Why?
And I think of like lots of let's tailor this more to the gay community, so because I can't speak 100% on anything else like out of that because I don't know. But if I think of a lot of white friends that I know or have had like in the past, like they do just tend to date white people, where people of color will date a lot more out of their race. Like you'll see like black people with Asian people, like Turkish kind of Hispanic, like white. Like you see there's a lot more like diversity in their like dating CV, dating profile, if you will. Whereas like a lot of people who are white, like I can count most of them, most of the people that I know that are white and that are gay will only date other white and gay people, and the thought processes behind it is it's just what I'm attracted to. But then you have to ask yourself, why are you just attracted to that? It's because white is the default. Do you know what I mean? Like we grow up seeing
like TV shows.
TV shows, movies. Like we grow up seeing like white beauty, Eurocentric features as beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of work which is being undone now. And I feel like there's a lot of black beauty, Arab beauty, all of these kind
Black
of
beauty.
black beauty, which like is changing the narrative that, yeah, black can be beautiful. Asian can be beautiful. It doesn't just have to be one particular look. But I feel like there was a lot of damage done all the way up until the early 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You look at, I use Abercrombie and Fitch as like an example. Like that was like the holy grail of beauty in the early 2000s. What did you always...
I wanted to look like that.
Yeah.
Like how fucking crazy is that? Like to think of it now, like how funny that I was like, I wanted to like bleach my hair blonde. I wanted to like have that type of body, like be fit, be skinny, like surf, and just like be that like
surfer boy.
Yeah, because I always had such an issue with being hairy.
Yeah,
I did. Like I wanted to like to get rid of everything and just like be this like seal. I just like not yeah, like that's what people are attracted to.
Yeah.
And like even when like I wasn't like when I was like dating girls or like whatever, like it would be like they'd be so open about it. They're like, oh, he's too hairy, or like you just felt like odd.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to think that it's not just about skin color, it's about like everything else that potentially becomes part of being a different race or ethnicity.
Anything that shows that you're a different race
outside of
is the thing that people are like, no, that's not.
But if you're hairy and like brown looking, it's like too close to Asian, too close to like Indian, Pakistani, like no,
but if
like
you're
that.
white and hairy,
then you're like daddy.
Yeah.
Then
do you know
like,
what I mean? It goes into
George
like George
Clooney.
Exactly. It's more like acceptable. But if you put a little bit more darker skin onto it, or they have certain features, but then it's funny because I feel like if it's in the Italian, Spanish way, hot.
Yeah, like
Love
a tan,
that.
like a slight tan. Nothing too crazy.
No.
We don't want
But
those,
if you're
like,
getting in the realm of
Asia,
people,
nah. We don't like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is very interesting to see like where that beauty standard comes from. And even like, I love Beyonce. I will fucking die for that bitch. But she is so successful, right? Would she have been as successful as she is if she was darker skinned? I don't know. That is a question that we will never really know. But if I think of like all the big famous...
We think of like Viola Davis. Like she should be way more of a household name. I mean, she is getting like more now, but she should be way more of a household name. She should be way more known about what she does. Like she's EGOT status. She's been acting for centuries. Like she is big. Like she should be known by people, but she's not because she's black.
Why is she not on the same level as Meryl Streep?
Yeah,
she should be.
Should be even more.
Yeah,
like I think she compared herself to, was it Sigourney Weaver or someone else? The ginger woman. Anyway, like, but she should be more of a household name. Yeah, but she's not, and that's really interesting.
And it's hard because you can never put your finger on why. Do you know
what
I mean?
Active, and I think people get confused. It's not active racism.
No,
I think people like worried to like say like, why don't we know what? Like, it's not like you're actively like, oh, she's black, therefore we're not going to support her. We hate her. Like that is not what is happening. It's more of a subconscious, actually more sinister, subconscious like undertone of like, we don't need to know who she is because she's not put on the media. It's not just it's not your choice. Like she's not in your face. She's not on these channels. She's not on the news. Like she's not on the media. Yeah. As like one of the actresses or actors or whatever that needs to be known. Yeah. We're talking about Julia Roberts. We're talking about Sandra Bullock. We're talking about Meryl Streep. We're talking about these ones.
Why aren't we talking about these people?
Yeah. So it's not your fault if you don't know, but it also like you do have to educate yourself.
And that's where it also comes in. And I think there's a very important message here that this isn't necessarily on the people, on the consumer, on the day-to-day people like me and you that are like pop culture or what's deemed as beautiful is pushed on you. It's the industry. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you change that narrative from within, then you'll start to see it different. And I do think it is changing right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I kind of said before, like Anokiai, like this beautiful dark-skinned model, had that breakout moment when she was at the Met Gala, and there was 5 other women, and they were wearing Sawaski? How do you?
Yeah.
And it was like this dual bodysuit
Oh,
thing. And she was in the blue one and she had
yes.
short cropped hair.
Yeah.
The other girls looked beautiful, but she stood out.
Wow,
and she was just, I remember seeing, I was like, you're probably one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. But that is because I feel like years before that, it's built up that like you can find other people attractive and you can find other races beautiful, that I feel like she came at the perfect time. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot more dark-skinned models and people in the media industry that are starting to really pave the way now. And you cannot forget the people who set the foundations.
Yeah.
Naomi Campbell. Her in the 90s and the early 2000s, incredible. Like, one of a kind. Like, no one else was really accepted, and she just fucking came in and was like, I'm black, I'm beautiful, and you're gonna see that. You're gonna
look at me, bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think this stuff is changing.
And what's crazy as well about that dark skin stuff is like, really dark skinned black people are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I find it so strange how like we can't see that on the same level as like if you want to see whiteness as beautiful,
like
or
Gigi Hadid.
Like, it's fine, like, but like that kind of like Lupita, like, it's stunning, like, it's gorgeous. Like, I don't get like how you can look at that skin and the texture of the skin and the color of that skin and not just see it as like, wow, like, that's incredible.
It's
that's
because it's
natural.
so far removed from what you're used to.
Yeah, but it's like natural. Like, that is your skin. Like, how fucking crazy is that? I find that with like, I know this is random, but with like people who have natural red hair, like how they get picked on for being ginger and stuff, and I'm like, you naturally have red hair. Like, that is crazy that you naturally have like you naturally have black skin. Like, dark black skin. Like, that is like celebrated. That you can't just look at that and even downgrade that. Like, that's something incredible. The same way as you can have someone who has like porcelain white skin that could look beautiful. Like, it's weird.
And I think it's just seeing beauty in everything and retraining your brain. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is stuff to do with us as people as well, where we need to undo that change. Do you know what I mean? That's like happening with us. Because I think of like, it's annoying because I don't want to ever, like, I'm fully aware, even us right now, we are light skinned for what's in our race. Do you know what I mean? If you look at other Arabs that are darker skinned than you, if I look, I'm mixed race, but I'm on the lighter side of being mixed race. There is a lot of colorism within our cultures that we unfortunately benefit from. There is no way that I would ever like sit here and be like, the issue, and not think of like how part of me, without even realizing, is obviously affecting that cause as well. But like, it is like, I think of like the Zendayas. I fucking love Zendaya, but she even says like, I get picked for so many jobs because I'm light skinned and it's easier for people like to digest, more bite-sizable for people, palatable.
So many buzzwords.
Which is sad. It is the case, but she's aware of it. Do you know what I mean? And she fights it. But there's so many levels from where it comes to, and you know, I feel like in the gay community, is we can kind of go into this side of thing. Massive issue. The fact I obviously have not been on dating websites in a very long time.
You better not have.
However, I remember some of like the bios or like names of people, and it would be like no femmes, no blacks. How are you gonna say that on Grindr?
Yeah, it's actually crazy how
no black. Like, are we in the 1920s? No Asians. Like,
no Chinese. Like, people would be so like open about it.
How can you say that? How can you disregard a whole? What you're saying is you just want white people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like it makes it. I understand more sticking within your race while dating, for example. When you're a person of color.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's a cultural understanding, especially if you're in the West.
Yeah.
There's a cultural understanding that you don't have to explain it to every person that's not of color.
Yeah.
Why your hair's like
and
that.
And even like
why
different ethnicities and races and colors kind of have similarities across them as well.
Yeah.
So like, it's not so much about the race, it's about the culture. And I think that's what white people get confused about sometimes, is they say like, well, I want to date a white person because like that's my preference and I like white people. It's like, yeah, but that's different. Again, it's a big age-old argument. You should have preferences. At the end of the day, if you're not attracted, you can't force yourself to. But it should be awareness of why you feel that way, as we've said. But it's not the same. If a black person only wants to date a black person, it's not necessarily because they're black. It's because they share cultural things. So like it could be a black person who's British black, American black. It could be someone who's African, someone who's Caribbean, someone who's Nigerian, someone who's Ghanaian. Like it's black, but it's cultural. It's Arab, but it's cultural. Like Arabs, Jordanian, Gulf states, Lebanese, or maybe I could date an Indian because we have some similarities. Maybe I could date a Pakistani because we have some, like, it's gonna be different, but the same. Whereas white people are like, well, I want to date white. Like all Muslims go together, or black people go together. It's like, yeah, but you're not saying you really love the culture of a French person.
Yeah.
You're saying you want a white person because you're attracted to whiteness.
Yeah.
Just look at that. It's not like it's I mean, it is, I don't know, I don't want to say right or wrong, that's not the point, but it's just look at it. Why?
This is another thing that I've heard quite a lot of people will be like, oh, I love black boys. I love black boys, like they're so hot. When have you ever dated a black boy? It seems to be your type and the ones that you always talk about finding hot, but I have never ever ever seen you date a black person. So what is that? Is that fetish? Is that like lip service? Like what is that?
Yeah, what does that mean?
And there's like, and it's the same across the board, like, oh, Arab boys are so good looking, like, but then the only person you date is white people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just looking at where
Why?
that is. Do you know what I mean? Do you like the idea of it more? And I just think like be open. Do you know what I mean? Like be open to like who you're dating, or
yeah, why not?
Like
it's not that deep.
No.
Like you don't have to settle down with someone that you don't find attractive.
No.
It's just about life is full of flavors.
Yeah.
And life is full of opportunities and chances. Take them.
Exactly.
It doesn't all have to be all bland and boring. Date someone who's hairy. See if you like it.
Yeah, exactly.
You might really like it.
You might like it.
You don't
It's like a little
know.
pillow, little rug. It's lovely, babe. That's what I would say
I
about
do
that
get that.
situation.
I have a question that's nothing to do with anything we've been talking about.
Go.
Should I start reading Fourth Wing?
Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about this before.
Book talk.
It's giving vibes of
Akatar.
but written better.
I don't know what it is. Like, people have just said that it's like the better version of that because it, like, a lot of fantasy books take time to like get into, whereas this one, like, they jump straight into it in the first couple of pages and then you're like straight into it, which is what I need. Because I've finished Bridget Jones, that comes out soon as well.
Yeah. So you now want like
I want something
the
else.
Next.
Yeah,
I
especially when I'm
reckon
on
give it
holiday.
a go because
Shall
fantasy.
I order it?
Do
What?
it for our holes.
Okay.
I think it's always good to try something different. Fantasy is always fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm
I
a bit
think
nervous,
fuck it
like,
up.
really nervous.
And dragons.
Yeah, it's about dragons.
Love that. It's giving Khaleesi.
It's giving Khaleesi.
If you know. then
Also, this could be saved for the next episode, but we've got time still. Just quickly, we watched a podcast with Bonnie Blue in it.
Yeah, I want to.
I want to just talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts on Bonnie Blue.
Yeah, interesting.
Bonnie Blue. I think
Bonnie Blue.
I think that people have been giving her more shit than I think she actually deserves. You can have your opinions on people who are porn stars or in the adult entertainment industry. However, like, what is she doing that is so offensive and so hurtful to like the modern person? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think the argument is like, some people feel like she's setting women back, and some people think it's really progressive. Like, I think I can kind of see both.
But why is she setting women back?
I don't know. I've just heard people say it. Like, I'm not sure if it's because it's like she's making it seem, because she's like playing quite close to like the age range of people. She's being very like, you know, like 1,000 guys in like 12 hours.
But
like,
then think about how old she actually is. She's 24. These boys are 18.
Yeah, that's true. But what I mean is like, that's what people are saying.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying like she's setting it back because it's kind of just like showing women as like a sexual object. It's just showing them as like servicing men. Like you can be plowed. What did she say? Railed.
Yeah.
Railed by like 1,000 men. Like, I just feel like I do get that argument. It is a bit like, well, you know, do what you want to body, but you're like taking it a bit too far now. And then the other side is like very sex positive, very like in control, like she's doing what she wants to do. It's her body. Like, who has the right to tell her? If you're angry about the age of these people, take it out with the government. Don't, like, it's not her problem. She makes them sign consent forms. She does STD tests. Like, they all know what they're doing. They're all happy. She says stuff like, I'm teaching them safe sex. Like, losing your virginity is not like something that like is so wonderful and like, ooh, Disney, like, you know,
Yeah.
like go with a professional to lose your virginity. Like, I think what I feel, I feel like I understand all of it, like all the sides. But watching that podcast, I was very much like, I get it a bit more. Like, it is up to her. I don't know if she'll regret it in the future or if she'll be happy with it.
And if she does, that's
It's
her
her thing.
mistake
Yeah.
or her
It's her
thing
story.
to go
It's her
through.
thing. Yeah.
Like, she's
So then
decided
I'm
it.
just like, I did like the way she spoke about a lot of the stuff.
She
'Cause I
says
wasn't
she
sure.
likes sex.
Yeah.
She enjoys sex.
And she's not as sore as she says, like,
No.
you would think you would be. And like, it's not like your vagina is like something that can give birth and then go back. So like having a couple of dicks in there isn't really gonna like isn't gonna like stretch out so much that it's like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people have this image and like they tend to like shame it automatically. And I think we all have this thing in our heads of like, women shouldn't be sexual.
That's the thing as well. If it was a man doing what she's doing,
just
and
got ill
to be
gross.
quite honest with you,
Yeah.
if you think of a lot of straight men and how many, I can think of loads of boys that I know that
Yeah.
have slept with over 100 women, 100%. They do not get shamed as much.
Not the same, absolutely not.
Like, do you know what I mean?
But
So
you would-
I
but
feel like
even if
there's a lot of.
even if a man was like, I slept with 1,000 women in 12
You'd be
hours,
like,
you'd be like, oh, gross. Or you'd be
but
like,
it's
what
not
the fuck?
the same
But it's
level.
Not the same.
Like,
It's
no,
not.
there wouldn't be all these people dragging them
No.
for it. And the majority, if you think of other guys, maybe if, like a lot of women would be like, oh, that's like gross. Like, why would you do
Yeah.
that? But a lot of them got good on you. Yeah,
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
good? I mean,
And
do
like,
you know what I mean? Like,
instead, like the women are slut shaming her or like making her feel a certain type of way, as opposed to being like, yeah, you go, girl. Like, you're.
I think the thing that triggers people with Bonnie Blue is I think she's showing a lot about what men are doing.
Yeah, this is good.
Because a lot of these men have wives at home. A lot of these men know that she's sleeping with loads of men and they're like queuing up for hours.
Yeah.
And I think it shows a lot about the guys that they
Exactly.
are dating or men in general. And they're like, oh no, it's easier to blame the woman than go
Yeah.
for the men. But like, yeah, she's sleeping with 1,000 men. These 1,000 men full well know that she is sleeping with all these people and are still doing it.
They're still doing
so
it.
why
They
is
don't
she
care.
getting...
They're queuing up for hours.
Yeah.
They've got 8 hours queuing to think whether they want to do this or not, first of all. So they've got time to consider it. And then they're the ones like lining up and doing it. And I think it's like more of exposure of like, all men are gross and they all want to cheat and want to have sex with anything. It's not really her problem. And like, the one thing I don't like is how she antagonizes and she like tries to be
She's
like...
doing that. There's some things she says which... No,
where she's
babe,
like, oh,
stop.
like your husband, like what are you doing wrong if your husband has to come to... Like those kind of things, I'm like, I don't really like that.
No.
But it's true. I think it's highlighting what the men do, and it's easier to blame the woman and be like, you shouldn't be doing this, like you should be discussing it. But really, it's like, I just found it really interesting because I definitely judged straight away as soon as I heard about her. Like I was just like, ew, what is she doing? And then I was like, no, let's understand what she's talking about first. Some of the stuff she talked about, I was like, that's gross. Like when she said like sometimes the penis or whatever smells and you just have to carry on. I'm like,
no,
for no
babe,
amount
no.
of money could I do
There's
that.
a thing called hygiene,
But
and you can fuck as many people as
good
you
for
want,
you.
but be clean.
Yeah, I mean she is. She gets STD checked every 2 weeks.
No,
or
but
something.
even like she's saying that like at
the
some
smell
points
and,
like with like if she rims guys like
they've been queuing for,
and sometimes it won't be clean and she has to...
It's up to her, but like even 3 million in a year is not enough for me to do that. But I think there's a balance. There's a balance to it all. I think that's what I gathered from that. But she's
don't know, it's
25.
interesting.
She's having a good time.
Fuck it up.
They made it seem like she was a 40-year-old going after 18-year-olds. I mean, I know there's still a big age gap.
No,
and
but
I'm
even
not sure
to
how
be
I feel
fair,
about it.
even when this was happening, she would have been like 23.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's not a crazy...
5
That's
years.
not a crazy age
Yeah,
gap, like
yeah.
at all.
But they are like virgin. I don't know. Anyway, it's really not for me to like consider whether that's right or wrong. But the issues is with the government and the legal age, not with her. Like she's not the
Yeah.
one that made it. And again, she's taken all the steps. But it was just a really interesting thing. I would definitely watch more and understand more than before, like judging her.
Maybe we
Judging
should have her
her.
on the podcast.
She wouldn't come on. I'd love to actually. Talk
I'd
to her about
actually
it
really
properly.
like to sit down and have a conversation with
Bonnie
her.
Blue, if you're listening, can you please come on a gay podcast and talk to us more about what it's like? Because, I think men are gross and I don't think you should be in as much heat as you are.
Live your best life, bitch.
Live your best life,
Make
Bonnie.
that fucking money.
Is her name actually Bonnie Blue?
Bonnie
Or is
Blue.
that going to be like a...
That's going to be a sex name.
Yeah, that's fun. We should
Yeah.
come up... What's your sex name? What would your sex name be?
Jolly Josh.
Jolly Josh. Ah, that's cute. That's not very sexy.
It's not.
Hi, I'm Jolly Josh. Ready to rim you.
Mason Blue.
Mason
Blue. Mason Blake. Like something like that.
Ew. Blue-eyed bandit.
I take that back. I think there's someone called Mason Blake.
Yeah, it's probably a porn star you're obsessed with.
No, it's not. I think he's like a social media personality. Not Mason Blake. Blaze Angel.
Anyways, it's fine. Don't worry about it, babe. Right. Well,
this has been great,
this has
you
been
guys.
A fun little episode. We've just
tackled all the issues in life and the world.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you've enjoyed this.
Make sure you follow, like, subscribe. If you watch this, if you're listening to this, make sure you put that notification on and like rate us. Oh my God, you can rate us. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah,
bitch.
why aren't you rating us?
Rate
if you're
us.
listening to us right now,
Rate
as soon
us.
as this ends, rate us.
Rate.
Put a comment. Leave a review, even if it's
only
like
if it's
love.
nice. Yeah, okay, cool.
Huh?
I was just gonna say only if it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, even if
no.
5-star reviews.
Yeah,
please.
exactly.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you next time, my loves. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We hope you're enjoying all of our content. We love making it for you. Okay, love you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.